everyone! Welcome to another Friday with Dannphan. I know I started a little bit late. I'm like 7 minutes later than usual here, but it's all okay. Yeah, nothing bad was happening or anything. I was just like, I was in a engaging conversation with Adam about how important it is to have really good friends. We know someone who has a really bad group of friends who's kind of shitty to them. I was just checking the time, make sure YouTube thinks it's okay for me to say the S word, you know. But yeah, and it kind of affects their life. And when you're constantly surrounding yourself with people who don't really care about you and just use you and get you into bad habits and stuff like that, then it can really decide whether or not you actually succeed in life or not. So make sure you have good friends, guys. I think that's the takeaway from that. Yeah, maybe that's part of the reason why shonen and a lot of, Japanese teen material is so inspiring, especially over here in the States. Because it's just like, it's really nice to have this strong feeling of friendship, like a real team that genuinely loves and cares for each other and looks out for you. And those are the type of friendships that you want to have. You don't want friends that are just convenient. You shouldn't be friends with someone just because. You should be selective. Not everyone does deserve to be your friend. You should have good friends who genuinely care about you and will help you out when you need it. But what do I know? I don't have many friends. No, that's not true. Me and Adam this weekend are planning to go on a double date with some of our friends. Real friends. Friends that are nice to us, not just convenient friends. What is a friend? Yeah, I know. You can all hear me okay, right? I kind of set it up pretty quickly because I didn't want to be too late for the stream. But, I got in the room pretty late in general. So either way, I'm starting a bit late. Yeah, okay, good. Goody. That would be really hilarious, though, if I was just talking to the void for those past 4 minutes. So how's everyone doing this Friday? Hopefully y'all doing excellent. Yeah, not too long now till the Indiegogo campaign for Horizon Quest gets to be live. I'm excited. I've gotten some eyes on this one, as it turns out, which is quite humbling. I've been so insecure about my art style for the longest time, honestly. And just recently, I have been noticing some really great improvements. I mean, especially compared to the sketches that I've done of Horizon Quest, which is what I'm going off of now. Because, just to recap yet again, the entire comic was done last year. I lost the files, and then all I had were the draft pages, were the sketches. So I had to redo all the inking and everything. And I've been doing that this year. That's basically what I've been doing the past 2 months. If you noticed, uploading has been a bit slow here and there. That is also why, because I've been doing a lot of comic work. You know how it is. But I have noticed improvements in art. I think it looks drastically better than the sketches that I had done. And I think it looks better than the inks that I had done before from last year. The funny thing is, as I'm working on it, because it's kind of a long comic, or longer than the comics that I had done previously. But as I'm working on it, I notice my art improving through each page. So now that I'm working on the last couple pages, I think the art for those pages looks much better than the art for like the opening pages, which is a positive and negative experience. Because on one hand, I'm like, yes, look how fast I'm improving. It's so good. On the other hand, I'm like, oh no, I gotta go fix those pages. They're so bad. Because I want it to be like of equal quality. I don't want it to be like jumping up and down in quality. I want to try to make it consistently decent looking. Yeah. You get to edit the draft over again. More chance for improvement, I'd say. That's fair. That's fair. You've got a very distinct style. Thank you. Honestly though, it's not the first time I've been told that. I made an Instagram post with like one of the characters, and someone commented saying, "Oh, I knew this was your work immediately when I saw it on the feed. Didn't even have to look at the username. I knew it was yours." And I'm thinking to myself, "Whoa, really?" It's very exciting to think that, oh my god, my style actually like is prominent. Like it shows. That was you too? Yeah, that makes sense. Now it makes sense. Well, I've heard it twice from this guy. That's almost like hearing it multiple times from multiple people. It's almost the same. But yeah, I will be honest with you. I'm content with the style, especially for Horizon Quest. I think this style fits. But as my style, it's only about maybe 75% of what I want it to be. Like I do want to clean it up a bit more until it's the style that I always draw with, you know. But yeah, let me share screen for the Horizon Quest. Yes, this. Woo! I will say though, it doesn't really. I don't know if you know what I did wrong here. Maybe somebody else knows Indiegogo better than me, but you would think that you'd be able to click on these images to like see the full image, but when I click, it doesn't do anything. So I only see like part of the image. Boo. I wanted to post multiple pages here, but then I was like, well, if they can't see the full page, what's the point of that? Fucking blah, 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 blah. You know? You know. Oh, thanks for the $2. Fuck Google, too. Pursuit of quality is a virtue. Yes, it is. You gotta keep on pursuing that quality. Just gotta keep on trying, guys. Try over and over again. It needs to be at least 20% more Dannphan. Yeah, there you go. Just a little bit more Dannphan, and then the style will be just right. But yeah, like I said, it works for this type of story. But I do want to keep on improving it and making it maybe a little bit, I don't want to say the word realistic, because people always take the term realistic to mean something completely different than what I'm talking about. What I really want is for the style to be a little bit more refined, maybe details is what I'm, maybe. I still struggle with anatomy too, which you can probably see just by looking at it. Proportions, a little bit. Arms. You know, I didn't have too many problems with arms for this comic, but for some reason the elf, I had problems with her arms. Maybe that's just because she's sleeveless, and I'm somewhat used to drawing sort of buff women. Not buff, but like somewhat muscular women, and I kind of wanted the elf to be a little bit more frail. So maybe her arms are a little bit not quite there yet. Yeah, realistic. They expect like photo realistic. No, I'm more so talking about maybe there's some manga I have. Oh well, it's over there now. But I guess I don't really have anything close enough to grab to show as an example. And I don't want to knock over that light by walking over there. But I kind of want to combine my style that I got going on here with something similar to if you know the artist for One Punch Man, something similar to that style, where it has the ability to be very similar, very serious and crisp, and have really distinct, fun fight scenes, but also can flip on its side and be really comical. That's kind of, I kind of want to mix that with my style. I don't want to knock off anyone's style. I don't want to do a copy paste, because copy paste is not, it's not my thing. But that's kind of what I'm thinking for future comics, of course. I think that the style I have right now for Horizon Quest, it fits this type of story. But, you know, you improve as you go. Humans are the hardest to draw. I would argue some animals are hard to draw, maybe for me. You know, I still haven't really quite nailed down horses. Horses are like this whole other level of difficulty. Oh, hey, Renee DeLiz. You draw really great expressions. Thank you. Thank you. Expressions are actually my favorite to draw. Out of everything, expressions are my favorite. So I can see people looking at that and be like, oh man, these look like good expressions. It's because I'm having the most fun doing them. Less fun doing hands. So I haven't really mastered hands. I mean, they look about like what they're supposed to look like, but they don't really, you don't really get the same details, not the same crispness, you know? Oh, thank you for the $5, Maverick. A non-frail elf is fine. It actually takes real muscle to use a bow, particularly one used for combat. That's true. It is true. I guess the fear is whenever you have more muscular arms on a sleeveless character, all the attention goes to the muscle. Every time I wear a tank top on video, people are like, damn, she's buff. And I'm not really, but you know, I have somewhat definition, but it's just that when you have a sleeveless kit, when anyone's sleeveless, I guess in real life, your attention just goes to their arms. And she also has her hair tied, so it's not even like her hair is covering up the definition of her arms. Just look at the buffness. That's it. Realistic furries, super hard. Noted. Okay. Horses have a very distinct style. Oh yeah. Their anatomy is so weird with the legs. The legs. I remember when I was a kid, I was into horses, mostly because my sister was into horses. I don't know. Maybe it's a girl thing. Maybe it's just me copying my sister because I thought she was cool. But one of the art books that someone got me as like a birthday present was How to Draw Horses. I did my best. Didn't learn a thing. Just couldn't get it right. It is what it is. Are you trained in any kind of art drawing by chance? Am I trained? You mean, did I take art classes? Not really. Not really, no. Didn't take any of the comic classes or anything. Just kind of jumped into it. You know, when you're getting yourself familiar with the medium in general, there's just some things that you pick up on and can take notes on. and then you kind of know how to do it. Also the behind the scenes videos are really informative, especially with the artist of One Punch Man. Have you ever like watched those drawing videos where he does a full page? Very informative. Although granted, not as informative for me per se. I do my work digitally and he does it traditionally, but it's still interesting to see how he puts everything together, and the effects and everything. It's all stuff. It's not like getting a job will kill you was funny. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. That's another very, very full of expression type comic right there. How about a comic with just expressions? Now you're thinking. That's the big brain move. Just expressions, nothing else. Will there be an elf that has one very thin, frail arm and one incredibly huge, muscular arm? Asking the real questions. Although I will say, both arms are kind of getting a workout because, like, one is holding it steady and then one is pulling it back. I did do like an not archery class. I don't know what you would call it. It's just like an event, you go to like one, and I did archery with like some of my friends and my boyfriend, and I missed so much. I could not hold it steady. It's just like too much and your arms are shaking. Especially, you think that I'm buff. I'm really not. I'm just like super shaky. Couldn't hit the target once. My arrows were going straight through into the field. It was a fun experience though. It got me to understand archery a little bit, Just expressions, yes. Buff elf with a single strong arm would have other implications. Fair enough. We don't want those implications. No. Only you're family friendly, right? This is teen plus comic. Thank you very much. But yeah, it should be fun actually getting a comic out there where like I did all the art. Not that I haven't done other comics with all the art, but this one's a little bit. It's just like a step more serious, perhaps. I feel like whenever I do more chibi or cartoonish art, people don't really look at it as, as seriously. And maybe that's because it's easier to draw, to be fair. So maybe it's harder to impress people with more cartoonish art because they're just looking at it like, well, I could do that. Even though they probably couldn't, but it's just the idea that because it's easier to draw than maybe other art, or it takes less time, maybe I should say, than other art, that it's low tier. Although I've definitely read a lot of manga with some chibi style art that has been quite fantastic. Quite good. Yeah. How long did it take you to clean up after chopping up all the DC books? Not very long. For the most part, we just put the pile into like the recycling, and I guess some of the paper just like kind of went back into the earth, and soon it'll grow into a big cringe tree. Who knows? I don't know. Boo. Would you consider having pogs for perks? Pogs? Are you talking about like the little circle cardboard things? I haven't seen those around in a long time. I don't know on the scale of how excited people would really be for those. Unless I'm thinking of something else. Pogs. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is what I'm thinking of. Milk caps. So they're not cardboard. I've seen cardboard ones, though. Oh, they are. Yeah, okay. Yeah, cardboard. Yes. Those are the ones those are the ones I'm familiar with. Yeah, I have not seen those in a long time. Are they coming back? Are they getting a second wave? I haven't seen anyone with them. I don't know. Pogs, that was third grade. Sweetcast had some Pogs once. Interesting. Did people like the Pogs? We were thinking trading cards at one point. Adam thought that it would be really fun to make a trading card of each of the characters for Horizon Quest as a Magic the Gathering card. Like, use the template and then, like, you know, write stats or whatever effect they have and a strength defense, you know, that whole thing. But it could come up to be kind of pricey, especially if people aren't really that interested in getting them. But it was a fun idea. Maybe we'll have that as like a stretch goal. Who knows? Trading cards would be awesome. Yeah, I thought so. Trading cards sound more fun than Pogs to me. But tarot cards are better. Well, you gotta get Fresher Luke's comic for the tarot cards. Trading cards are always cool. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we need to bring that idea back. It's just that when you're doing it, because you got like 5 characters, right? So you do 5 trading cards. Maybe you do 7. Maybe you do 2 for like some villains or monsters or something. You also got to remember that you're printing however many like backers you got on board. You're printing 1 of each 5. So like, it adds up. I guess it's just my point. But I don't know. We were also like looking at kind of weird sites to see if we could find some better deals, and it didn't seem as worth it. It might have been more worth it to do like more so 2 characters or 1 character. Or I suggested, oh, maybe for like each stretch goal, we like add another character trading card on board. But Adam didn't seem as interested in doing that because he just wanted to do all characters, right? And that's understandable. Okay, what did I miss? Why are we talking about trading cards? Oh, we were talking about perks for the Horizon Quest campaign. And one of the things that we considered was having trading cards of all the 5 characters. But I wasn't really sure if it would financially be good. A lot of it also just depends on how many people back the campaign, of course. I mean, I'm thinking that the goal will probably be 5,000. That's what I'm thinking. And it'll probably be a flexible goal because, I mean, already made the comic, might as well go ahead and print it. But stretch goals are definitely up for suggestion. One of the stretch goals that I wanted to have was just adding in more pages, you know, concept art and stuff like that, and put that in the comic and have that printed alongside. Maybe have a mini comic at the end. I do like my mini comics. It just adds a little bit more character in there, you know? You can invite artists to do the art for the trading cards. Obviously, you need to supervise their interpretation of your characters. Well, you know, the other thing about hiring artists to also do art of the trading cards is that's more money on top of everything, on top of the whole cost to print not really being as efficient. Although I did do Valentine's cards for one of my campaigns way back, and that was fine. It was fine, although I didn't do that many of them. I didn't do that many variations of them, right? I did like 2. So it's a little bit easier to do than 5 different art pieces. Uh, that would get real expensive real fast. Yeah, right. I do have some guest artists on board for the campaign. That is going to be fun. Limited edition art or poster. Honestly, posters tend to be like the easiest, I think. People didn't seem as interested in them in the poll that I did recently, but posters do tend to be the easiest because you can sell them for more. People see like the poster as worth more than a trading card. Understandably so. There's a huge size difference. But yeah. Also, it's just one of them rather than multiple cards. So we got poster tier because I do like selling the posters. Special art and posters are certainly cool. Yeah. And I got some original art for the campaign as well. So I'm really glad people were interested in some original art for Horizon Quest because I did that. I did the originals. I'm kind of wondering now if I should do more. But I don't know. Maybe it'll be more fun to just watch people just like jump to get all the original art before it's all gone. Yeah. At the moment, anyways. My inking progress just got 5 more pages to do. Just not that bad. Not that bad. For like just inking Horizon Quest, re-inking, because I had it all done last year and had to redo it. But for just inking work and like shading work, 2 months is not that bad to like be wrapping that up. That's pretty quick. I was listening to this other YouTube video where they're talking about what manga publishers are expecting from their mangakas who hop on board. And what they quoted was like roughly 30 pages in a month is what they want. And then when when you get more popular, then you can get assistance. Lucky you. Oh boy. Which I understand that's brutal, of course. But at the same time, I'm listening to that and I'm like, I can do 30 pages in a month. Then again, I don't know if that includes also sketching. I don't think that included sketching because you have to get that approved before you actually start inking it up. So I think it was just inking. The inking, we got to finish up 30 pages in a month. And sketching would be like a different thing, I think. I would like more detailed YouTube videos about the manga industry and how that stuff actually works, because it very much fascinates me, like what standards they have on their artists over there. Part of me has like this sick, twisted thought that maybe if I just start holding myself to the same standards, I'll just vastly improve. But I mean, maybe I will. Maybe it's true. Maybe we just need to hold ourselves to higher standards and then we just get better. But for now, I'll keep it balanced somewhat. That or burnout. Yeah, right? 30 pages in 1 month, approximately 1 page a day. Approximately, yeah. It's about that much. Someone else who was a mangaka, they quoted that they had a specific structure for how they did pages each week. And so it would be like for a 5-day week of working, it'd be like 2 pages, 2 pages, 1 page, 1 page, 1 page. Like, for each day of the week. And then in the weekend, they chill out. I've definitely done 2 pages in a day, though. More simple pages, I guess. I guess regardless, I will have to, like I said before, go back and start fixing earlier pages. Because that's also a thing. But yeah, the old get good. I mean, sometimes that mentality does help, as like, you know, like I said, kind of twisted as it is. Sometimes it helps. Confidence is also an important thing. Is like, you can't do it if you believe that you can't do it. You have to also believe that you can do it to achieve greater heights in the grand scheme of things. Popular is one of the most common standard. If they give you a shot and it doesn't work out the right way, they'll drop you real quick, regardless of the actual quality. That's true. That's true. Although I have read a bunch of manga where I see that it's not very long. I see that it got canceled, and I think to myself, yeah, this seems about right. It seems like I would cancel this as well. But it is interesting. So many mangaka, before they get like their big series that really takes off, they pop out a couple shitters, you know? They pop out a couple really mediocre manga series. Like, this one is actually close to me. The manga for Spy X Family, I was looking at some of their previous work. As it turns out, Viz, I can only assume because this did so well and it's selling so much here in America, they're going to be doing English releases of some of their previous works. Two of the ones that I had my eyes on was called Tista, I think it's called Tista. And then the other one that they're going to be doing an English release of was Blade of the Moon Princess. I'm more interested in Blade of the Moon Princess, but I can't find anything on it. I don't know when it's releasing. I have no idea. Tista, it seems like it's going to be releasing soon. And from what I've seen of Tista, painfully mediocre. Just like painfully. But I haven't finished it yet, to be fair. I was thinking about doing a review on it, but I'm also not sure if people would be interested in their previous work as they are with Spy Family, because this is their good work. This is what they did that was good. And then the previous stuff is just the steps that they took to get this good. And that's something to keep in mind, especially when you view writers, artists' earlier stuff. Because like whenever you read someone's work and you think, oh my god, I love this, I want to see what else they wrote because I want to see more of this style of stuff. I want to see stuff as good as this. And then sure enough, you read their older work and it's like, this isn't as good. This is kind of a shitter. And that's yeah, it's kind of what you gotta expect, honestly. Spy Family is so good. Oh yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty decent. Pretty decent. I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah. I was thinking about doing a review on their older work, but I guess I have to wait for some of them to actually release until I can figure out more details on there. Mindy got a medal. What? Some people are just talking over me in the chat, so I have no idea what you guys are referring to. But you know what some of you can help me out on? I've been wondering for a while now, I'll add. I've been wondering what kinds of new videos you'd like to see on the channel. Obviously, I've got some manga reviews that I have been planning already. I've been thinking about maybe doing some character study videos, just because I find it interesting to me. I don't know if other people find it interesting. But the main goal, as far as like kind of a shift in like content focus, the main goal is to try to get more of a manga friendly audience on the channel. while still doing the pro indie stuff. And of course, I guess, shit on bad comics whenever they come up. But yeah, because if I'm going to be doing stuff like Horizon Quest, obviously I want the type of people to be on board here who would want to go buy it, go see it, go read it, and give me some feedback. I have some trouble getting some feedback sometimes, and it's hard to really improve without it, But more importantly, I got to sell some comics. I need the monies. So if you guys have some suggestions for content you think would be a good idea for the channel, I'm all for it, honestly. I'll, give me your best video ideas, stuff that you'd like to see me talk about. I'll write it down. Your vote matters. Manga reviews for mangas that are super awesome so we know what to read. I've done, I gotta be honest with you though. It's hard to find those. Not that, not that most of them are bad or anything. It's just hard to find manga that I read and I'm like, that was fucking awesome. There are a bunch that are, in fact, fucking awesome. But sometimes what's popular with other people isn't popular with me. Sometimes I just read something and I'm like, this is okay. But, go full manga. I can do that. I really like art commentary videos where artists draw while telling the thought process behind the drawing with redesigns. Would that be interesting to you? I find it more interesting that you bring that up because I've done videos like that in the past. I've done it sometimes here for this channel, but I think all those videos are axed by now. And I started doing it at one point for the Burning Star YouTube channel. And those are still up. But I find it interesting that you are interested in it. So perhaps I should do it for both channels rather than just one? I don't know. I'll write it down though. I'll write down art commentary. Your vote matters, folks. And I did a cool swishy Y with the commentary. It was very cool. Trust me. I miss your social commentary on politics, honestly. Did I do any real commentary on politics strictly? I've definitely done commentary on politics in manga, in comics, but I'm not the type of person to tell anyone who to vote for or anything like that. I get a little bit nervous about that type of stuff, Manga anime reviews. Fair enough. I'm trying to read as much as I can. I get zero feedback just making comics in the dark over here. Nah, I totally get that too. Honestly, I'm tired of political nonsense. How about a video about how much of a war crime the 85 film adaptation of The Black Cauldron was? I thought the Disney movie was okay, but I never read the original book. I never read the original book series. I want to. I do. It's on my reading list. But it's kind of hard to judge how good of an adaptation it is when I haven't read the original, Yesterday was fun where he gave his art critique. What are your favorite mainstream manga books and any recommendation? Strong stream win? No. I'll put down manga recommendations. I got a bunch of those, to be honest, and I can organize them based on lists like top 10 manga recommends for fantasy or for beginners or stuff like that. That could be something. Why not boomer reviews old anime or shows that people say are terrible, or the second coming of big titty goths, just to see if they are like people say. Boomer reviews is kind of interesting. I'll write that down. I'll write old anime reviews. It can be kind of hard doing old anime reviews if you do stuff that people don't recognize, you know? Because if they don't recognize it, they won't click on the video, they won't care. Unless you have something about it that strikes someone's curiosity. Like, you know, Godzilla being a cute girl. That would strike my curiosity if I saw that pop up in my recommended. Then again, I don't think that video got that many views, so maybe I'm just weird. Maybe I don't represent my my audience here. Oh God, no! I'm getting in there. Oh God! Oh, there we go. All right. All good. Play safe, people. Gunslinger girl. Anime that's super awesome. Reviews of anime that's super awesome. The original book series was fantastic. Yeah, I really want to read it for sure. Just want to hear about manga politics is pre-meeting everything today. Very true. The thing about politics, the reason why everybody's talking about it is because it really does get people to listen when you talk about political problems. Because even if they're not really as interested in the comic or in the whatever topic that you're actually talking about, as soon as you relate it to politics, you're relating it to the viewer, because the viewer's like, yes, you understand me, and therefore now I'm interested in this thing that happened. Now I'm interested in what you're actually talking about because you related it to politics, which I understand. It's one method. It's a proven, true and tried method of selling stuff. I'm just not sure if I want to go 100% all in on that. And I feel like maybe that's one of the differences between me and other indie creators out there, is the fact that not that I don't have an opinion on it, everyone has an opinion on it, you know? Some people will say like, oh, you're so good because you're so like unbiased. It's not true. Of course I'm biased. I have my own opinion on things. But I don't want that to be all there is just like an opinion on politics. There are other things about me, you know? Any upcoming anime you're looking forward to this season? You know? I'm not even sure if I know what anime is coming up this season. I have to look on like my anime list to figure that out. Anime reviews. Selected by Godzilla being a cute girl was actually kind of interesting. I legit love that manga series. It's so weird, and yet it works. That's the thing that I like about manga, is when they're able to take something that's kind of a little out there as a plot, but they make it genuinely wholesome and like make it work, you know? I don't like the deviant weird. That's where it gets a little bit too uncomfortable for me. But wholesome weird is a different kind of, it's a good weird, you know? It's the weird you want to snuggle up to and have 3 happy, healthy kids with. I think your trending topics videos were great because you were always lighthearted and humorous instead of being gloomy and angry. Yeah, okay. I do prefer being lighthearted and humorous as opposed to being gloomy and angry. It's part of the reason why I kind of want to maybe not stop completely, but ease off of the cringe reactions. Like, it was important to me to read some of those DCYA comics and do reviews on those, specifically because I felt like so many parents were buying them without knowing what was actually in there, without knowing the content and what they were actually giving their kids. And some of it may very well be content that you don't want to give your kids. So that was kind of one of those things with me, where like I kind of wanted to make a point by doing the reviews on them. But I don't want that to be the only thing that I do, because there's good stuff out there too, and it's worth talking about the good stuff. And possibly even more important to talk about the good stuff, because you got to balance out your life, you know? You can't always just be thinking about sad things. Marketing strats. I don't know if you can get very good marketing strats from me. I mean, I'm asking you guys for video ideas. I guess a marketing strat I can give you is focus groups are very valuable. There you go. That's why you guys are the brains of the operation. Not that people wouldn't click on a marketing strat video from me, but I would feel kind of guilty getting those views, because it's like, am I really that successful? You know, I could be a little bit better. I could do a little bit better in general. My favorite Dannphan videos, indies reviews, YA readings, skits and sketches. I haven't done skits for a while. I had other ideas for skits. They just became kind of more difficult to do, because you really need like quiet spaces to do skits. Otherwise, you have all these other factors to account for. That's why a lot of these YouTubers that do skits, they have their own studios for that. I don't. So I just kind of have to go in the backyard or somewhere, you know. But I appreciate that you appreciate them. So thank you. Thank you for that little comment there. I appreciate it. I really love your read-throughs, especially Western comics, but they're all great. And your opinion videos about the comic manga industry in general are very interesting. I could do more industry talk. Maybe I'll put that down. Comic/manga industry. Like I mentioned before, it's genuinely interesting to me to talk about that stuff. Even if, you know, even if I'm not as informed as somebody else about it, I like to kind of throw out some like theoreticals here and there, like, oh, what if this, or how about I try this? Like I did, it wasn't really exactly an industry video per se. It's more of like a personal theoretical thing for, I guess, other indie creators like me, where I talked about, okay, what would it cost to make a manga style comic independently here in America? If you're like just starting out and you want to get 1,000 copies of something, ideally, 1,000 is if you're really starting out well, of course, because my first comic that I ever tried to sell, it was more like 300 copies. Granted, even 300 copies is fantastic for your first one. So that don't be ashamed if you don't sell a lot on your first comic. I was not expecting to sell that much for my first comic. And the real demotivating part about that is the fact that I haven't really expanded that far from my first comic. I haven't really been selling that much more. It's kind of just been around 200 and 300 copies per book. Although I guess, well, digital sales are kind of their whole other category. But you know what I mean. I shouldn't talk about depressing things. But I did genuinely find that doing that video to be interesting, to talk about being in America and trying to do an independent manga style book, and if that is more cost effective. I genuinely believe that it is. Some people might not think so. They might have their own arguments to throw into the ring. But it's part of the reason why I want to move further away from doing floppy comics. Floppy comics, like these. Yeah, book ASMR, there you go. Yeah, available on my website, burningstarcomics.net. I want to move further away from these and start doing more long-form comics that are set up like manga-style graphic novels like these, where they're smaller, but they have more content in it. Keep the black and white style. Don't have to spend too much on it, etc., etc. Come on, get in there. There we go. But I do find those theoreticals interesting. I'd like to do more videos talking about the manga industry, but it's so hard to find more information on it. And, granted, it's because, it's a Japanese thing. We don't really get that much in general when you have a work ethic that's very specific to one country. You don't get as much information about it in another country because, I don't know, reasons. More Dannphan's advice videos? I could make a couple more of those. They don't get that much views, but I do have more advice to give here and there. I definitely prefer doing those videos when I have examples to show, and sometimes what I'm thinking of just doesn't have a good comparison to y'all. And sometimes I'm just giving my opinion on something, so it's I kind of wonder how valuable they are to everyone. More Dannphan's advice to use, yes. Other trending topic YouTubers can be gloomy. Yeah. Honestly, this is a problem that I have personally. When I'm following someone and then all they're posting is really sad, gloomy, the world is over type content, it bums me out, to watch them. So I stop watching them. And then after a while, either YouTube auto unfollows for me or I unfollow because I just need something to balance out the homepage recommendations. I can't always just have depressing every single time I go to YouTube. But I understand why people are making those videos. Some people do need to genuinely vent, and some people are just looking for the hate clicks. The people who are really passionate about that topic, who are feeling just as depressed about that topic and need to hear it from somebody else. But it is important in your life to have that balance. You can't just always be depressed, believe it or not. A video on your comic book publishing journey, a walkthrough, one of your books would be cool. That's another interesting video idea. Man. I feel like I would be really embarrassed though to talk about some of these books, Some of them were a little bit more painful to try to put out there than others. But do you work with writers or do you create your own stories? It kind of depends on the comic. Most of my comics out there, I was the writer on. Practically everything on 90% of the stuff on Burning Star Comics, I'm the writer on. However, Horizon Quest is a special occasion, a special comic where I'm the artist on it, but I have not done the writing. I mean, I did add in some visual gags, and I gave my opinion as far as story editing and stuff of that nature. But Adam is the big writer on that, so he's responsible for the story, the characters, and figuring out that type of stuff. An advice video about character design coming right before the new Warriors was iconic, to be honest. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was planned. That was on purpose. But you know how it is. You got to take advantage of something when it's topical, you know? That's another thing that's getting more difficult to do, is to take advantage of something that's topical, because now I have a schedule I'm sticking to. And I'm doing these videos like a whole week before they're actually releasing on the channel. So there's that whole delay. But, you know, sometimes people are still interested in the topic a week later. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I could do like really emergency videos where it's just like I'm uploading raw video of me reacting to something real quick. I don't know. I have no idea. We need more optimistic, hopeful content. Very true. Very true. I'm going back to the hate memes. Good. Goody good. Anyways. Alright, so we got a good... What do we got here on the list? Art commentary, manga recommends, old anime reviews, some videos talking about the comic manga industry. When I do talk about it, it will probably be more like news, like whenever something new happens. Because I could do some videos like briefly talking about some stuff that I've heard quoted from other... maybe I can reach out to some mangakas that like know English. I guess I vaguely know some YouTubers who have been like in and out of the manga industry. I could ask them like what their experience was and what was expected of them and do a whole video on that. Maybe I could do an interview. Hey, would you guys be interested in a manga industry interview? That could be something. I would be interested in that. But then again, I'm trying to like do my own thing, using that as inspiration of how to do it. I'm trying to make my comics with this in mind. So maybe it's more interesting to me than it would be for like the average Dannphan viewer. I don't know. But it is something to consider. I can't guarantee that everyone I reach out to for like an interview or to do a video with will want to do a video with me. But you can always try, you know. Sometimes good things happen. It is actually genuinely amazing how like you can open new doors just by like reaching out to someone and just asking. It's like a lot of people who just ask usually like... Adam was telling me this story about some other YouTuber who was like super small, but they managed to get an interview with someone who was super big. And the big person was just like into the interview, like just into the idea of like having an interview with this person who seemed like knowledgeable about a topic that they were both interested in. They didn't even realize that their audience was super small and they didn't really care, you know? But it's interesting. Some people think that my audience is actually really big. To those people, I'll say this much. Look at the subscriber count. And then look at the viewership count. There's a big dip. There's a big space, you know? So, not that I'm, trying to say that the subscriber count doesn't matter at all, but there is like, yeah. The views matter, definitely, for sure. Yes, mangana interviews. Mangakas, yeah. Okay. The worst someone can do is laugh and say no. Basically, worst that can happen is they just say they're not interested. Actually, one of the worst things that happen is if they don't. It's not even saying no. That's the worst thing that can happen, in my opinion. I think the worst thing that can happen is they don't say anything. They just ignore you, and you have no idea. Give PewDiePie a call. Yeah, let me just contact the biggest YouTuber. He's living in Japan. Maybe he knows more about the manga industry than I do. Here's a thought. I'm gonna write down a mangaka interview. I can't guarantee it'll happen, but I can try. I can try to get in touch with people. And if you know any mangakas out there that you would like to see me interview, that you think maybe, we'd get along with each other, you can also list some names. It's fine. Like I said, I can't guarantee that it'll happen, but I'll give it a try. That's all you can do. That's all you can do in life, is you just give things a try. And sometimes it'll pay off. I can teach you all about being ignored. I'm an expert on the subject. And there you go. I'll also do some anime recommendations or lists that show what you are into or what you consider the best. Good idea. Good idea. I was actually starting a list a while ago. I might need to update it or get some other opinions on it. I was doing a list on the best manga recommendations for beginners who are just getting into manga. And I thought that was a really good video to make because we got a lot of newcomers into the manga comic industry, right? And they got to know what's good to pick up, what's more tame, I might add, to pick up. Because some manga just comes off way too strong in a very specific direction. And if that's the first that they're being introduced to, they'll just assume that all manga is trash, right? So I wanted to make a list and do a video about what is the best for beginners who are just not entirely used to the more extreme stories, just want something a little bit more tame, but still very good. And, obviously, Spy Family is probably on the list of that. You know what? No, I can see that definitely Spy Family is on the list because that is definitely very tame, very wholesome, but very, very good. They say if you drink Boss coffee, you will grow a big brain and do mangaka very well. Good to know. Thank you. Haven't watched Pew since you moved to Japan. I'd recommend it, personally. I actually like PewDiePie's vlog videos a lot. I've been watching a lot of vlog videos in general lately, though. A lot of them in Japan. They just got a lot of cool things in Japan that I want to see. But no, I've genuinely been enjoying the PewDiePie vlog videos. They're really peaceful, really nice, and like I said, everyone needs some positive content to balance out some of the negative content. PewDiePie is really good for that. The other day a friend's friend met one of the guys that made the Splatterhouse design, a Japanese dev. They talked about stuff in the game. It was nice. Good to know. Good to know. All right, we are nearing the end of the Friday stream. I guess we technically ended 4 minutes ago, but I feel bad because I started late, right? So it's all good. I don't mind hanging on for a little bit longer. We got a good list though. Hang on. We got our commentary, manga recommends, old anime reviews, comic manga industry, Dannphan's advice videos, and mangaka interview. That's a good list. I think if I have those videos on my channel, maybe I will start attracting more of that type of crowd. That's I mentioned it a couple live streams ago, but that's also the main reason why I was unlisting some of my cartoon reviews and other like kind of off topic of the anime comic type topic videos, because I didn't want the algorithm to only be suggesting those. Eventually, I think I'll relist them, but I want to get the new audience in first, and I want to feel kind of strong about that new audience instead of the wrong crowd. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, it's really difficult with the algorithm these days because I'm not in full understanding of what the fuck is going on with YouTube 90% of the time. Even for like videos recommended to me, sometimes it's just like weird stuff that I would never watch. And then you get these, everyone has this problem, of course, of the recommended section recommending the same video to you like 9 times on a homepage. And, you know, like the videos are right next to each other and it's just a duplicate of the same video. It's like, really? And then a lot of the videos you've already watched and they're just like recommending it to you again and again and again. Like you're going to watch it 8 more times within the same week. It's like, come on, this isn't right. I want new content. And it just seems like YouTube doesn't know how to actually give people new content. But it's even harder when they also fucked with the search results. The search results don't show you every video based on keywords anymore. They like show you the first, I don't know, 5 videos when you do a search result. Show you the first 5 videos that are based on whatever you typed in. And then it starts recommending you random fucking videos again based on the algorithm and not actually what you're looking for. That's so fucking annoying. That's like the worst system ever. How can I decide like what I want to see if they're just... Anyway, I don't want to rant about some more sad stuff. I don't want to end the live stream on like a frustrated rant about the YouTube algorithm being shitty. I've got a good life. You know, I am quite blessed. I got all these comics coming out. I got these fans excited to see it. And hopefully I'll get some new fans on board that are also interested in seeing more comics from me. So thank you guys for joining me on the Friday with Dannphan stream. If you haven't already, please consider signing up for the mailing list for Horizon Quest to be notified when we launch on April 6th. No pressure. Just consider it. And yeah, April 6th, folks. I'm excited. You better be excited. Those were my knuckles. And we'll see you next time on the Dannphan channel. Have a good Friday night, everybody. Good night. Goodbye. See ya.